Boom! I have Cordie Williams, the Megaphone Marine. My friend Jimmy's been driving me crazy. He's like, you got to talk to Cordie. You got to talk to Cordie. Neither one of us know Jimmy. By the way, Cordie, he wants to do a three-way conversation with us. He's dying for that. Jimmy, you guys don't know, is kind of the connector of all the dots. So he connected to me to Cordie. Cordie connected me to Clay. And now are you going to be at the Freedom Conference, Cordie?
Yes, I was in Tulsa. I will be with Clay in Tampa. I will be in OKC with General Flynn the following week. I will be in Anaheim, and then I will be in Colorado that got announced today in September.
The man's busy. This man here, I'm going to show you a video.
That was a mom? Is that what a tough guy does? That's not what honor, courage, and commitment means in the Marine Corps. So the question is, do you say, we always have in the military, we have what's a lawful order? And you got to check your nutsack when you're given an order, and you got to say, is this a lawful order or is this a bullshit order?
That video is this man talking for us Americans using his megaphone.
The Megaphone Marine.
That's what he goes by. I know, I come with props today. I'm so proud. I bought that, Cordie, I bought that before I found out about you. I just want you to know. I've never used it. It just hangs up in my closet. But tell us your message that you want to give right now to our little 5,000 audience, because we're banned for 14 days. Eventually this video will be up to the 169,000. But tell the American people what they need to hear.
Well, I would say this, first of all, nicknames are only as good as what people grab onto. So, the whole Megaphone Marine thing, I'm trying to remember where it started. Somebody put it in, I think Scoop started it when they put it out there with the Hodge twins, when the video first went viral. But, our whole message, 3 days after my video got 17 million hits, we just really had a desire we saw a void not only in people owning the Constitution, the roadmap for freedom, but really just a void in people giving solutions and people taking action. There's a lot of people talking about, hey, do this and do that. And, people get excited at rallies and, hey, it's sexy to buy a cool hat and cool t-shirt. But what are you going to do on Monday from a solution standpoint to change policy? And that's everything that my co-founder and I, Chris Lippy, that's everything that we're about at 1776 Forever Free. And that's what we've been doing for 15 months. We really turned up the notch on policy probably about 4 months ago, as we began doing constitutional classes with Doug Gibbs. I've got a TV show I haven't told you about that is going to be on His Glory TV. With Pastor Dave Scarlett. Hopefully I'm going to get something on Fox Nation. I don't know. That's being talked about, and I got a PR guy plugging that. But we're really trying to level up the education, and then we've got a platform coming out that's going to be a paint-by-the-numbers platform to really allow people all across the nation, Mustang, to be able to click on a button, any state, any county that they live in, anywhere. It'll be an A to Z kind of paint by the numbers way for people to get into office. So whether it's the application,
I'm going to be on there. I'm going to be on there. 100%.
I want you to be, man.
MustangMedic 2024.
Well, what am I going to do with this? Look, I dropped my phone.
It's okay.
That's what happens. You got me laughing so hard.
Reality television.
But, the thing is this, right? It's like, when we make something hard, people don't do it. There were 165 vacant seats in San Diego County where socialist Marxist Democrats walked into office unopposed. So how do we change that, right? Do I think voter transparency and all that around the election are important? Of course I do. But it's not it can't be a unilateral attack.
Right.
And I'm going to shut up now.
No.
Give you a long dissertation.
This is your interview, man. I'm just, believe it or not, I cannot talk. You're obviously pretty busy. You're working on the mental aspects of getting us to unite, which, with Mustang Medic, it's like, listen, respect, and love, which is, I think, listening is the first step. Now, you're also holistic, and you've got a very busy practice. And tell them about your practice of what you do on the other side of politics, if you will.
Yeah, so I'm a holistic neurological chiropractor. So the how shall I put it? That's all we'll do, so you don't get a third strike. That's what you have to do. But basically, stuff that goes into your stream that was there's an alphabet soup that said it was okay for this to go into your stream. Even though it's not a God-led healing, there's no connection between your creator and that healing you. Go ahead.
And if I can interject, nobody knows what the ingredients are. Nobody knows what the ingredients are, but they have blind trust in the government. They don't believe in Jesus. They got blind trust. Huh?
Like here, I want to make it more clear to our viewers.
Thank you. So far, Clay has given me so many beeps I got to do. It's going to take me 2 days to edit the video. You're helping me out. I appreciate that. I want to say this about chiropractors because my mother back in the day, I know chiropractors are not allowed to work on animals because you're licensed for only human beings. But what proved to me,
no, there are licensed chiropractors. Correction. There are licensed chiropractors that work on animals now. I would never say that on a show that I work on animals because, of course, I would never break the rules because the state board's coming after me, which we'll talk about that in a second.
Oh boy.
But you tell me about chiropractic, and then I gotta smooth some things over about chiropractic.
All right.
People talk about, doc, crack me right here, crack me. And there's this big misnomer, and of course we're all quacks. Right, we're all quacks, and it's unscientific, even though it costs.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is that I've used chiropractors throughout my life. I actually did I lose you? Oh, you're back.
No,
okay. I've used chiropractors in my past, and my mother who also had used chiropractors. She introduced me to chiropractors. We had a dog that had dysplasia in his hips, a Labrador. So she undercover. This is years ago, took the dog to the chiropractor. He did an adjustment on the dog, right? Now, the dog's not thinking, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? What's going on? The dog, he healed the dog with chiropractic. If your mind is open, you can be healed. It goes with God, and it goes also with chiropractic care. If you're willing to be healed and trust the process, it can work. But the mind, as you know, is a very powerful thing. And after you tell me more about chiropractic, I'm going to ask you about, I'm not going to name any names, but I am going to ask you about the truth online. Go ahead. Tell us about the rest about your chiropractic care.
You're awesome, man. Well, first of all, I just got to say before I even answer that, this guy and I have so much fun. And I think we're like kindred spirits.
I think so.
I think our first phone call was like an hour long, and we laughed like 8% of the time. And then we started making fun of each other too.
And Cordie talks as much as me, and we can actually hear each other. It's amazing. Go ahead.
Man, we're having too much fun today. Too much fun. So, there's a big misperception. I was the guy that did drugs and what I mean by that is every prescription drug known to man. My parents did antibiotics for everything. Our version of natural was how much crap can we put in our body? How much medication, Tylenol, aspirin, ibuprofen, you can name it. And I haven't had a drug. I haven't had an injection. I haven't had anything. Probably 15 years. And my kids,
and you look great.
My kids have never had any of the even at birth or anything. Mm-hmm. They were born at home, all that stuff. And I'm not, I don't say that to sound like I'm levitating above Jesus or anything. I just want to give you a spirit of knowledge to know that you're a self-healing, self-regulating organism. And in real chiropractic, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that, we believe in above, down, inside, and out. that God's power, life, comes from the brain. It goes down the spinal cord, comes out of the spinal cord through the nerves to the organs. Science actually says that. There's so much research. Even if you go back to a study, I think that was done in 1920 by a guy named Dr. Oakley, where he talks about the nerve fibers, the nerve communication, and a disruption physiologically, even a dime-sized pressure on that nerve, a blockage, can interrupt that nerve flow. When I say life flow, people get a little esoteric on me. So I'll say that nerve flow, that nerve response or stimulus. And so what we do is we do something called a specific scientific corrective adjustment according to your x-rays. And our goal is to get a curve back in your neck, a curve back in your lower back. What happens when we do that? We see people have more energy. They sleep better. They get more mental clarity. We've seen autoimmune conditions go away. We've seen cancers go away. Am I saying we cure that? No, I'm not. What am I saying? I'm saying when you get the body in a state of function, it's amazing what the body does. Medical board, chiropractic board, and all the hater trolls out there that are going to see this. I'm not saying I heal, moron. What I am saying is that Jesus heals. He always has, he always will. And when we put your body in the right place and you're not convicted to a losing spirit or a spirit of fear, like Mustang referred to, you're going to get better from anything. But when you're mentally blocked of the can'ts and the won'ts, and this is the only way, and I got to take this toxic radioactive crap called CHEMO therapy, and I got to put that in my veins, and they wear hazmat suits when they make that crap. Like, I mean, come on, give me a break here. Why would you want to put anything in your body that somebody has to wear a hazmat suit to make? I kind of feel like, you know, Odie from Garfield, and he's like, oh, right? Like that, you know, that's what I do when I think about that. But
yeah, and what's amazing too about I like your, I'm going to be using that from now on. I'm picking that up from you, Cordie. You'll see that.
But you got to do this. You got to do that, and you got to go.
Got it.
There you go.
Yeah, what amazes me, you know, let's put, you know, we're always putting God into it because God's into everything. They have more faith in a government that obviously lies. I mean, just lie. You know, it's so fake now. The Holy Spirit is just like showing me what's fake. Like, it's just so.
Mustang, why would you? I got to interrupt. Why would you say that? There's a bullet that took somebody's life in 1963 that was a president, and it passed and swiveled 21 times.
Yeah.
You think they would lie to you?
I don't. Yeah.
There's no way.
I don't think the CIA was happy with him. I don't think so. So, especially since he said he was going to disperse the CIA. That's, you know, that's a minor threat to their jobs. But the thing is that it takes more faith to not believe in God than to believe in God, which is, and it's a mustard seed of faith. So the mustard seed of faith to everybody is, if you just give God an opportunity to trust him, right? And I've said this before, and I'll say it really quick, because this is not my interview, this is Cordie's interview, is that if you go and talk to God for 3 minutes a day for 1 week, anytime by yourself, have a conversation, say, look, I saw these two guys, you know, talking on video, some crazy guy with a cowboy hat, talking like you exist. I don't think you exist. Prove to me you exist. That's how I came to Christ. I'm not challenging God, because God could just go boop and just take me out. I'm asking God to showcase himself to me, prove to me that you're there, and watch what happens. And nothing might happen, might not be your time, but something could happen that you can no longer discount as by chance. It's just too many things will happen. Christians come out of the woodwork, hey, talking about Jesus, you're like, where did this guy come from? It happened to me so much in that 7 days of doing that prayer, it led me to Christ. Now, it doesn't make life any easier, but when you know that what the struggles that you're going through are for your good, it's a much easier thing to deal with. Like, for instance, my prayer every day is, God, close the doors where you don't want me to go, and motivate me to do your will. So when somebody's like, get out of here, Will, screw you, or I hate you, I like this guy better, thank you, ban. You know, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. I'm kind of like Zuckerberg like that. I'm enjoying banning people on Telegram. I admit it. I tried to hold off Cordie for like 3 months, but I've been so attacked. Not me attacked personally, just even my viewers and my participants are getting attacked. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. There are people online that are misleading, and I'll just call them anons. Now, for there's a lot of people, a lot of different belief systems. I'm a friend of anons. I'm not an anon per se. I'm a friend of anons because I'm an information seeker. Now, there's people that are putting out a lot of theories. March 4th, not getting inaugurated. That I fell into the not getting inaugurated part. So when CNN busted me, I'm like, yeah, I don't think he's getting inaugurated, and he did. But my point of view is, after 10 times of being wrong, of these people saying it's fact, I think they should let them go. What do you think? Because I'm finding that these anon channels that are flooding in the tunnels when water's going around sandbags and they're clearing out the drains. Oh, water's in the tunnels. They're trying to take down the true people that are truly reporting the truth. I'm one of them, although I tell people, don't just trust me. Go to 8 sources. Everybody's got an agenda. My agenda is for God and telling the truth, and I'll die at that point. I'm going to die doing it this way. What do you think about what do you do with those channels that are lying?
First of all, I would say every alpha male needs some type of green veggie drink for his body to make his skin beautiful, and in addition to being adjusted. So I got like Biobob, whatever that is, or Baoba. And
are you deflecting? Are you deflecting my question?
Blue Magic? No, I'm just.
What are you talking about bios? What is there a cup of juice for right now?
You guys are probably wondering about my blue drink, so I had to talk about it.
Do you want me to change the subject? I can change the subject.
No, I'd love to talk about it. Come on now, I'm more real than that. No, but I did have to talk about my drink because I'm thinking I'm drinking this blue-green drink, and they're probably wondering what the heck that is.
Oh.
And people always ask me, whenever I drink something on any show, they always ask me what it is. So rather than talk about it after and have 1,000 emails, I'd rather just say.
Yeah, I never drink anything.
Blue Magic.
I never drink anything, so I didn't know that. Yeah.
Just so you know, brother, I will always 100% answer questions. I won't Sleepy Joe you. Don't worry about that.
Go. Then answer the question, Cordie.
Do I think that is there misinformation out there?
No, we know there's misinformation. That's not the question.
Yeah.
The question is what do we do? Do you feel any personal responsibility as being a truth teller to expose the channels that are not telling the truth, and you know it? Because I went for 3 months staying quiet because I didn't know. But I'm a lightning rod for all intel now. Intel at officialmustangmedic.com. I know who's lying because I'm here now in DC. There's no military tribunals going on. I've walked around the White House for like 8 days. There's nothing unusual going on. There's no trucks. There's no vans. There were no nooses. There was no, hanging people. And I'm always debunking that. And there's people that are holding on to those beliefs. What do you do? Do you feel any sense of responsibility to out those people that are lying to people online, to mostly the Anon community?
Yeah, well, first of all, now I see why you thought I was deflecting. No, I promise I wasn't, because there are some people that would avoid that question. But no, I don't necessarily, yes and no, I do. The way I try to do it is, first of all, I see this, and I know you do as well, because we've had numerous conversations about unity. Unity not only outside of the political party that you and I more align with, and I say more align with because we know there are people in the safari that have horns on their snouts and they go into the water occasionally, called rhinos. And those people in the safari and that establishment encompasses both parties. So I think that in the ability and the effort to unite, because this battle is going to be fought and won by the ability of us to unite, come together, and really mobilize. I honestly believe that. I believe that this ideological battle is fought in numbers, and you're seeing it across the nation, where people, states and local counties and governments, and people are mobilizing and activating and going out and protesting and really dropping the hammer and staying with, like, we want our government and our freedom back, and we want our life to be lived out this way, not your way, but our way. We're going to dictate it.
And
go ahead.
In
in the effort to unify, what I believe is what I've been doing from stages, you know, I've said from day one to answer the whole QAnon thing, that I think it could it be true? Could it not be true at first? 100%. Was I listening to some of the stuff? I was. When the goalposts kept getting moved to, well, the touchdown's going to happen tomorrow. Well, the touchdown will happen next week. It'll happen 4 months from now. And then everybody thought that guy named Vincent from New York, the hairy dude, as I affectionately call him, that he was JFK returned from the dead, JFK Jr., returned from the dead, right? And then it comes out that he's somebody's neighbor, and you know, just because he's been to all these different rallies, I lost a little bit of faith. And then people with no intel are then saying stuff like, oh, well, Trump's going to do this, and this is happening this date and all that. And I'm like, well, where are you getting your intel from? If you're getting it from a CIA operative, if you're getting it from somebody on the inside, remotely alluding to that allows me to believe that that might be even a little fragment of kind of truth. Outside of that, it appears as a psyop and a way of getting people to be, almost complacent. Mm-hmm. So the way I've been calling them out is not by creating enemies, and I'm not saying you are, but really by just saying, hey, I think it's great if you're right, awesome. But what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong about what you're professing or what you're saying? And I'm not going to wait around for Santa Claus. I'm going to do A, B, C, and D to actively get involved and really effectuate solutions. Because as you know, the Bible says faith without works is dead. So where are the works in what you're saying? And that's the other thing. What's true and untrue? I mean, honestly, for that reason, Mustang, there are a lot of podcasts I don't watch. One, because I don't have time. My life is filled with baby poop, Blippi, and Paw Patrol. So and making sure my wife doesn't divorce me.
Yeah, during that one phone conversation, I got to hear part of your world, man. Your baby, your child was going off, man. She was going off. Oh, man.
And that was the first time we talked, too. We talked later in the night, and it was like chaos. I'm like, oh, my God, this guy's going to hate me, man.
No, dude. I got 3 kids. I can totally relate. We've all been there. Now, obviously, see, part of what happened with me on the same subject with Anons. Now, for those of you who don't know, because some people don't know what QAnon is. I've met people that don't know, which is, I'm always surprised because of the world I'm in. Q is either 2 people, which is President Trump and JFK Jr. is alive. Now, don't freak out. This is what they believe. And then there's either like 80 people that are inside the government giving up information. The Anons are followers of Q, A-N-O-N-S, Anon community. So the Anons are following Q. The word QAnon put together is what CNN propagates to say crazy conspiracy theorists. The way I view Anons is that they're information seekers. Now, the information seekers get into tunnel vision and lock in on a belief system that they don't want to believe is not true anymore. Even when and I know this for a fact now, I'm experiencing it. When you give them a fact, like I'm on the ground, they're like, no, he's not. He's an FBI agent. He's a black hat. The black hats are the bad people, and the white hats are the good people. I'm wearing a cowboy hat, but some people think I'm a black hat. I got a light colored hat. I got a black cowboy hat too. Actually, I gave it away. But anyway, so that's kind of QAnon in general. And CNN has got an Irish reporter. I can't remember his name. He's an Irish guy. I don't know why I remember that. He interviewed me twice, and
racist. You're racist.
Yeah. They interviewed me. They clipped out all the stuff to just where I was saying I'm wrong. And right afterwards, Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo. How do you pronounce his name? Cuomo. I don't know why I can't remember that name. The 2 of them are like, they start talking about white supremacists and QAnon right after they interviewed me. And then 3 days later, they interviewed a guy with a cowboy hat in Texas going, I like Joe Biden. Now watch, they're going to use that clip on me. And you'll see that little clip, I like Joe Biden, running around somewhere. So, unfortunately for me, Cordie, is I mean, God had me cool for like 3 months. I was cool. Growth was going on. Got shadow banned. You know, I was stuck at 163,000 forever, and that's okay. It's not about the numbers; it's about the message. But God woke me up about 3 weeks ago and told me, "I want you to expose the bad actors." He didn't say it exactly like bad actors, but he said, "I want you to tell the truth about what you know." And I was like, "Really, really?" So on Telegram, I'm just reporting it like it is and the information I'm getting. And I guess you're going to have a lot more followers than me because that's a very good Christian way of presenting the way you present it. I agree with it. But for some reason, he's telling me to interview these people and just find out the truth. So I'm inviting people. Like, you know, I invited Charlie Ward to do an interview. I want to interview him and ask him just questions. I just, you know, I want to go live. I don't want anything to be set up, and I want to do it live when I can go back live again. And I want to ask the hard questions. And I think that it's going to be very telling the people that won't do an interview with me. And it's not for me, although they're going to say it, to get the views from him, right? You know, get the Charlie Ward's got a much bigger audience than both of us.
Right.
But I'll talk to him privately, even without a video. I would like to just be in alone with a room with him and ask him hard questions to get a sense to see if he'll do that. Is he going to be at the Freedom Conference?
No, dude.
He's
no.
not.
They don't really get. I mean, in my opinion, I haven't seen Clay really do any. Everybody that's been on a Clay Clark stage, in my opinion, is somebody that has facts to back up their information and their rhetoric. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I heard something. I heard something about the today that there's some type of tea, pine tree tea or something like that, that's good for the shedding when it comes out after the is done. It sheds. It comes out through your skin, and that's why all these women are having, you know, this uncanny like blood clots and bleeding out of the uterus and all, like excessive blood and all that. It's because of the jab, like shedding. So you know,
Man, know the good thing is, Cordie. Know the good thing is I'll be down to one strike when I actually am allowed to get back on again, because I got 2 strikes right now. The other one's gonna fall off. So this, when I get the second strike, I'm gonna thank you for it.
You think you'll get it because of that?
dude, I've got. I mean, I've got.
Hey,
there's such a target on me, man.
But hey, that's not a bad way, isn't it? That's very creative. You have to give me like massive creative points. Like I'm
going to be using that.
I didn't even spell it, dude.
I'm using that. I'm totally using that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the sound will trip the algorithm. But hey, if there's somebody like Zuck sitting around with his mom right now, living off of unemployment, like there's nothing that we're going to be able to do. If he's sitting around, I wonder when Mustang's going to say this. Oh, there it is. Can you get me some more Doritos?
It's so funny because I kept MustangMedic because I like it because, you know, I worked on Ford Mustangs for 8 years doing videos, right? 80,000 views a month. Nothing was really going on. There was a little bit of change from Google AdSense. And I kept MustangMedic because it gives me the opportunity to talk to people. First, they think I'm from Texas. And they want me to get Ted Cruz out of the Senate. I'm like, I'm from South Jersey. I know what you're talking about. And then what happens is I get to talk to people about the 3 tenets, right? The listening, the respect, and all that stuff. And, you know, liberals they're game with that too. You know, they're good with that too. Then they ask me where I stand, and I say I'm a constitutionalist and a Federalist paper person. I don't identify as a Republican anymore because I think that most of the CCP's bought most of the Senate out, and also the Democrats gone. I mean, the only Democrat I like is oh, you know who she is, the military woman. She ran for president. What's her name? Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
She's got some cool aspects to her. You know, there's stuff I don't agree with, but she's the only Democrat I kind of like. I'd like to interview her. But everybody calls me Mustang now. So I'm going to be tied to Ford Mustang forever because I guess everybody remembers Mustang. You know, I saw people come up to me, hey, Mustang. Everybody calls me Mustang. You're doing it too. It's funny. Anyway, all right, let me ask you this question. I know you got to go. Now this is a big one because you've dealt with a lot of loss with cancer with your family, right? Do you believe, as a holistic doctor, do you believe that they cured cancer a long time ago? Because I do. I think cancer's been cured years ago. Now that's just my opinion. I'm interested in your opinion on that. Do you think cancer's been cured, and it's so tied up financially that they don't want to unemploy all those people and they keep it going? Do you think that's truth to that?
Well, I think it's very possible, and this is me speaking as Cordie Williams, not Dr. Cordie Williams, but and I have to say that because of those demonic spirits at the state board who couldn't lick a stamp on a rainy day in February and are probably Sleepy Joe libtard voters. But at any rate, what I would say is this: any dysfunction in the body, when there's inflammation in the body for long enough, and I always use the reference point, Mustang, of like a bucket. Health is a bucket. When you get too many chemical, physical, emotional stresses over a period of time, that bucket fills, right? If you don't empty that bucket, it's eventually going to overflow. And inflammation in the body is that bucket filling up. Symptoms are the action step or the cause of a bucket filling up. The check engine lights on the car going off for a long time, but even before the check engine light, there was a problem and that bucket was filling up. You just didn't know it. When the check engine light comes on and the symptom occurs, that's the body's way of saying, okay, we've had enough. That's it, right? It's like that trigger, that alarm system. And so then we transition from inflammation into disease. Disease is just merely a lack of function. So how do you get to the cause of a problem that was started due to a lack of health and a lack of someone taking responsibility of their health? Well, you have to backtrack that process, just like any problem you have. You have to walk back that problem. And the way you do that is releasing and relieving those chemical, physical, emotional stresses, taking away the inflammation. There's a book called Spontaneous Remissions that has over 5,000 pages. It's a huge, huge thick book. I think at one point, we bought it for like $600 or something. I don't know what it costs now, but it literally tells these stories over, years, hundreds of years and decades about people that had major diseases, to include the C word, and they were healed and restored by all different methods. And I can tell you clinically, I've seen some radical transformations and things occur with disease, especially that one, by the power of just putting the body back in a normal state. So, to answer your question, I think they did that?
Yeah.
I don't have clinical proof,
right?
But I think it certainly is possible and financially even probable that they did, because, just on that point that we're talking about, you get $3 more per vial of that than you do a bottle of pills. And I think that speaks that the 1981 act about VAERS, right? The $4 billion that's been put out. Everything, if you don't think everything in this government is motivated by politics, if you didn't, I can see how you didn't think about it until the last 15 months. If you don't see it now, God help you.
Amen.
Mustang and I are going to be there for you when with our Bibles and our AR-15s when you need saving. And you're going to be a liability because you're a sheep.
Amen.
And sheep get slaughtered by wolves.
Amen.
Unless lions stand up to defend them.
Wow. That's a great way to end this interview. It's no cleaner than that. Thank you, Cordie, for your time. You're an awesome guy. You're a brother from another mother. I look forward to seeing you at the Freedom Conference. I'll give you a hug without a mask.
I love that. A hug with no facial condom. I meant to say this earlier. I have to say it again. I have to say you look like a cross between Kenny Chesney and George Strait, because you got the palm tree and the flag in the back. And it looks like that George Strait video, Seashores of Old Mexico, that he did with Merle Haggard. This is like epic, the thing that's going on here. Meanwhile, all I got is my CD cases from 30 years ago that I need to throw out, right? Which I don't understand.
Yeah, but you got the shirt. You got the shirt, man. You got the shirt.
Okay, I got the Hawaii shirt. Okay,
That's
I
right.
got the Hawaii shirt. I like it. Okay.
All right. So, guys, be looking for Cordie. Come out to the Freedom Conference. We're both going to be there. You're going to be on stage? Are you going to be on stage, Cordie, or are you not? Are you
Be on stage? For
Are you
sure.
on
I
stage?
don't know when I'm speaking.
You are
I am
speaking.
100%. I'm speaking at all these things. Yep, I
Awesome.
always speak.
Cordie's going to be on the stage. I'm going to be down there going like this. Yay! And we're going to have a great time. Know that we are truth seekers. We are all united because Adam and Eve has been proven true. We are from one man, one woman DNA strand, and all 7.5 billion of us were created by two people. We're all related. We're all related, and we outnumber them. Thank you, Cordie.
Thank you, brother. God bless you.
God bless you. Appreciate your time.